Shout out to Weeb Shirts who sent me some beautiful merch, including this hat. I love it so many times. And shout out to Amish Andy for getting them sent to me. Thanks, pals. There'll be a link to Weeb Shirts in the description. Yep, that's what it's called. Down below. Go check out their gear. Hey pals, and welcome to Sophie Did Not Fall Off YouTubering, because look, she's been doing it every day. Wow, YouTubering. That's what we're calling it now. So I asked for suggestions. I was thinking it would be, Sophie, tell us the 5 cosplays that you loved building, but you guys want to know about the worst days of my life and the 5 cosplays I hated building. So that's what we're gonna do. Are there 5? There's probably 10. But we're gonna pick 5. So number 1 was definitely Herod. So Project Eppenblade, artwork by Zach Fisher, who is amazing. I'll put his links below. C2E2 last year, about 2 weeks before the show, I decided I'm gonna build Herod. I had been invited to be in Ready Cosplayer 1, which was a French cosplay documentary that aired at Paris Comic-Con last year. Super cool, very thankful to get to be a part of that. But I decided, like, if I'm gonna be in this documentary, I want some new armor. So 2 weeks before, I'm gonna build Herod, right? Okay, I'm certainly not gonna cry a lot. So things are going all right. I'm rocking 16-hour days. It's crazy, madness. And then it's the day before we're leaving. So April Gloria and I were driving up together. She was gonna come pick me up at 7 a.m. the next day. It's 9:10 p.m. and I have just gotten to the plasti dipping stage of the shin guards. So a lot of other pieces are done, but those, and I believe my bracers, we just weren't there yet. So I had used a lot of, like, you know, obviously like wood filler and caulking to fill all the gaps, and you should always make sure all of that is dry before plasti dipping or painting, whatever. You know, the gases, they need to escape, it needs to dry. Well, oh boy, I sure thought they were dry. I thought we're not dry. And the plasti dip never dried. And so now it's 11 p.m. and I am trying to scrub plasti dip off of these gauntlets, like shin guards, off of these shin guards. And I'm like crying, and it's not working, guys. It's not working. They're ruined. I had to grab my pattern and make brand new shin guards. And you know what? I did it, man. But I have never been so deeply unhappy in my soul about a costume or a project in my life. The sheer stress and panic was insane, and I love that costume. I love the way it looked. I can see all the shoulder pauldrons right now behind the camera, and I even gave the helmet away for my 100,000 follower giveaway on Facebook, so that's pretty cool. But when I think about that costume, it's like instant rage. And not only because of building it, but then I get back from C2E2, it's done, how cool, you know, great, we did it, stress over. I go for my video shoot, so there's a cosplay music video for that if you want to check it out here on the channel with Eugene Photo Video. And sorry, I'm having flashbacks. There's a scene where I'm going down these stone steps that we found at a beautiful park here, and you can't see it in the video, obviously, but at one point, IRL, I fell down the steps and absolutely destroyed my shin guards. Like, just shredded. Ugh, I hated building Herod. I hated it. I hated it. The second costume I hated building was Dark Mode Riku. Shout out to Jedi Manda, who gave me the idea to use flex foam for all of like the ab and chest pieces. She was super helpful, and that was an awesome skill to learn. However, I hated building that costume. So besides the fact that it was like a billion hours of hand sewing, like I hand sewed all of the chest, so I'm hand sewing it, right? And I gave myself these crazy deadlines. So I had this deadline, I wanted to have it done. I was gonna be a guest at Tokyo and Tulsa, doing the judging and the craftsmanship contest, and I was so excited, and I wanted to be on stage as Dark Mode Riku, which I was. I did finish it, because I always finish. I cry a lot, but I always finish. But during all this hand sewing, it's getting a little close, I'm getting a little panicked, so I'm not paying enough attention. And I didn't realize until before I put my costume on that day, one of the sewing pins was stuck inside the heart. And it's still there, and you can't see it, but I know it's there. I hated building that costume. It was so tedious and so frustrating. I would do it again, but I hated it. I think part of the reason I hated it is because I planned it out so meticulously, and I took my time, and something happened along the way with the hand sewing where I don't know if you can tell in the photos, we worked really hard to angle me so you couldn't, but the bottom of the heart is like crooked, and most people are like, no, I couldn't notice, but I could notice. And I'm like, wow. I worked so hard, and it's crooked. But also counts, I also hated building the keyblade. Well, no, I loved building the keyblade. I forgot to put boning in it. So I built a whole keyblade, and I'm like, this is beautiful. This looks really good, and I'm so excited for my shoot. Very cool, 10 out of 10. The first keyblade I built, yes. But then we get to the photo shoot, and the keyblade is literally flaccid. Dark mode Riku, hated it. The next one is probably just Vigar's hat. So I loved building Vigar. I loved patterning that costume, and the staff and resin casting. It was a lot of fun. However, the hat, and I chose that design when I was like, I'm gonna cosplay my first League character, and I was looking through some of my favorites. I'm not good at that game, but I love the designs. And Vigar was there, and I was like, man, I do love Vigar's hat. And I've never made a hat before, and I like to challenge my craftsmanship skills. And I had seen Kenpatsu had just released like oversized witch hat patterns. So I was like, yes, we're gonna do Vigar, and this is gonna be the best time and not frustrating at all. It's just gonna be fun all the way through. Get to the hat, and first off, I just want to say that Kenpatsu's pattern is like stellar, 100%, no error there. However, for me, so frustrating. So the first time I made it, because of who I am as a person, I didn't measure I didn't think about it going on my head, right? Like I didn't think that I didn't think about having to wear it. I don't know why that didn't cross my mind to like do that part of it when I was following the tutorial, but it just didn't. So I make this hat, and it looks so good, and it doesn't fit on my head, and there's no way to fix it because it's already all contact cemented together. And it just doesn't work that way. I've already made the hole. There probably was a way to fix it at the time, but mentally I was just like, okay, we're starting from scratch. We're starting over. We're not rigging this. We're starting over. So I make the second hat, and it's better than the first hat. So I'm like, you know what? It was worth remaking this because it just looks better. It's a great hat. And I put it on, and it fits my head. Hell yeah. And then my wig came, and I chose a wig that had a lot of body just because of the specific look I wanted. And the hat wouldn't fit on the wig. Like the wig is too thick for the hat. And I thinned out the wig. I took thinning shears, and we thinned out the wig, and we thinned out the wig, and we thinned out and it would not fit on the wig. And I was building this costume, specifically, I like to bring a newer cosplay. I try to each show that I guest at. So I was gonna guest at GalaxyCon Richmond, and it wouldn't fit. I don't know how else to say it other than it wouldn't fit. Like there's nothing more we could do to the wig. There's nothing. I wasn't gonna remake the whole hat 2 days before flying out to Richmond. I just was not gonna put myself through that because I'm working on that this year. So instead, I got lots of little clips and glued them and sewed them inside the rim of the hat, and then I just jammed them into my wig, which was cool. I get to the show, it's the Saturday of the show, my booth's already set up, I have the costume with me, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I'm gonna go get ready. And so the hat was on, like for sure it was on my head, but when I walked, it was like carrying books on your head, like balancing books. So the whole day I'm doing with my neck to make sure my hat doesn't fall off. And it only fell off twice, I think. Shout out to Ironheart Cosplay for grabbing it before it fell like 3 stories over the edge of the railing. She is the MVP, please go follow her. It fell off me once and hit someone in the face. Like there was only 3 times it fell off, but each time felt very dramatic. Neck hurt like the next day. So I hated building Vigar's hat so much. I'm gonna do a throwback for number 4. Many moons ago, like 5 years ago, my very first real armor build was a warrior Pikachu. Me and my best friend Sissa did warrior Pikachu and Raichu. They were really cute. We were doing our best, but somebody that we trusted at the time told us that we should be using real metal for all different pieces of the costume, right? So besides the fact that I hated building because I didn't know what I was doing at the time, I was using real metal, in foam. Why did I listen to this person? So that made me hate building that costume, because on top of like not being skilled enough to even build it yet really, and I wasn't taking a whole lot of help or looking for help online because I was stubborn, incorporating real metal into it when it was not needed. There was no reason. You don't have to put real metal in foam costumes. Don't listen to anybody who tells you that. What? It's not even allowed in most conventions. But anyway, I didn't know and I wanted to be accepted, so we incorporated real metal into those, and it was awful. And we wore them once and they were so uncomfortable and I wanted to die, and I don't know where that costume is now. But I know there's no photos online. Well, there probably is some. Please don't look for them. I've come a long way, I promise. Check out my Instagram. And last but not least, I actually hated building Soren's, to bring it back to a more recent one. I've skipped years of costume BS, but recently I built Soren Markov from Magic the Gathering again, and the sword I built very quickly in a couple of hours, which I'm super proud of because it does look really good. I'm very happy with how fast I got that together. Testament to how easy SKS Props Foam is to work with, for sure. Didn't forget boning this time because I don't do that anymore. I don't forget boning in my props anymore, except for that one time. So there's boning all the way through this sword, right? Tell me why, when I get to the photo shoot, my boning has somehow failed me, because I chose to use wooden dowel rods in it, and I chose pretty thin ones just because the sword blade is pretty thin. So clearly I chose too thin because the weight of the foam actually broke the rods inside the sword when I held it upright. So just like the Keyblade, Soar and Sword is flaccid, and I will have to open it up, pull those out, and put different boning inside of it because the outside is beautiful and I refuse to sacrifice my paint job. I refuse. So number 5 is definitely Soar and Sword. I hated building that, not at the time, but now. In hindsight, I hate it. I hate it so much because I have to do more to it. There's certainly far more costumes I loved building than ones I hated building, but anybody who builds costumes and props knows that there's always the ones you hate. There's always horror stories and things that go wrong. Such is the nature of costuming. I'd love to hear some of your cosplay horror stories. What cosplays did you hate building? Or what did you love building? I'll do a video on the 5 that I loved most building as well. Warrior Barbie definitely tops that. I hope you enjoyed my horror stories. If you'd like more horror stories, I have so many. I love you guys so much. I hope you're being safe out there. Please don't forget to ring that bell and subscribe if you're new here, and comment below. It helps me out a ton on my YouTube endeavors. You can catch me live on Twitch every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, always. I do stream in between, some creative stuff and sponsored streams. Check them out. Shout out again to Weeb Hats to Weeb Shirts for this beautiful Weeb hat. And you should come hang out in our Discord community if you're into it. At the end of this, you're going to see a list of all my awesome patrons and OnlyFans who support the work I do. They are all in a Discord community. If you want to join us, there are 3 ways to do that. You can subscribe to me on Twitch, which would help us reach our 200 sub goal. You can sub free with Amazon Prime. You can join my Patreon for just $1, or you can join my OnlyFans. So there's 3 different ways to get instant access to our awesome Discord community. Either way, thank you for being here and watching my video. I love you guys, and yeah, that's it. That's all there is.